Welcome back to another episode of Stories from the Dirt. Today, Cara and I I called it coffee time with Cara and Avis, but Cara doesn't drink coffee. She drinks that ice water concoction that you're familiar with. I will be drinking coffee. Anyways, let's dig into it. Let's discuss like some recent news happening in the world of the rally this
I know.
month, this week. I don't know.
I know. It was kind of a cool email that we got from the Pennzoil, that it said, it gave a little blurb at the bottom, and so we were like, oh, it says we're starting again at Mammoth. And I'm like, yay.
Mammoth again, Mammoth Lakes. Yeah, it's nothing Emily says should not be taken seriously. So all of those emails that come in, she just wants to be sure we're reading to the bottom. She just puts
Hmm.
those little Easter eggs right there in the bottom. Um, so yeah, what
Yep.
do you think about that?
I'm
Did you like
excited.
it
I
last year?
I really, so I don't have any other experience other than Mammoth, but I really
Right.
like that venue, that whole area, how it's set up, and it has the village. I went and got a massage before the rally last year, and it was just cool being able to see everybody walking around. As a rookie last year, seeing all these people that you've seen compete on, we watched it online and everything, was just kind of cool. Like it was like you're among these people, these stars.
Yeah, I really enjoyed pre-tech day, the way that they brought us in two groups and just put all the cars in a line.
I did
That
too.
was super cool to be able to walk down the line and see all the vehicles and see everybody competing. My previous years, it's just been kind of in a parking lot, and people just would park wherever, and it just was harder
Okay.
to just see everybody. And I don't know. I just felt even though we were more spread out in a single line, I felt more connected that way. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
I did too. And then like you got to see like you would go down and change things out in the parking garage and you would see like Matthew putting the stickers on and you're like I don't know, it's just like Christmas morning.
Yeah. That's always fun when the stickers go on.
Yeah. I loved it.
What else about Mammoth? Getting up to the top. So that like your teammate Danielle, she had a little trouble with altitude, and I know
Yeah.
one or two other teams did as well. So
Yeah.
that's something going back to Mammoth, I hope people are ready for.
For sure. It was one thing because we drove, to Mammoth, and so it was almost like a 3 day adventure for us. But we definitely slowly went over there to acclimate, and we got there a couple of days early, for Danielle to acclimate because she has some inner ear issues, and so that was causing issues with that. And the altitude there was like, what is it, 8 or 9,000?
It's pretty
Um,
high.
yeah, I can't remember, but I know it's somewhere around there. So, but thankfully that was the highest, and then we came down that same transit day. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. It also stated California and Nevada as where the rally would take place. So there's
yeah.
been speculation for a number of years that one day we might get to enter Utah or Arizona, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be in the cards for this year. So
I would
California,
love to.
Nevada again.
I know I know how hard it is for Emily to get like the permits and all of the background things just because, with what we do with our YouTube channel, like we know how difficult the BLM and all of that can be as far as, leaving the tread lightly footprint. And so
Mhm.
I can see definitely that it would be hard to add another state for sure, but it would be way cool to go to Utah and some other places just because it's different. Everybody can get familiar with an area. I wouldn't say that it's not, like you can definitely still do the rally and it be a new experience every year, but you definitely get used to an area too.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Um, they make it interesting, but yeah, we've been through that valley before, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, and in that email, that same email, we're talking about Pennzoil renewed for not only this year but also next year. And I know they've been an incredible add to the rally, and they really
Yeah.
support the Rebel U efforts. So
Yeah.
that's super exciting. It mentioned it was sold out already with 65 teams for the
I
10th
think,
anniversary.
and there's been a wait list going for a while. Like it keeps bouncing back and forth, but there's a wait list on there constantly.
Yeah, yeah, and the wait list, like, there's been a lot of I think a lot of people really jumped on the registration fast because they were concerned with it being the 10-year that it would fill up, and I think that
Mhm.
definitely happened, but there's been
Yeah.
a lot of movement in the field so far this
Mhm.
year, but it's still sold out because that wait list, it still lives. I was just asking about it, last week, I think it was,
Yeah.
so it's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
it's hard because, with the fundraising efforts and the sponsorship, I know a lot of companies are struggling this year. Just because, I bring a lot of the sponsors from our side of the things, for my team, that the tariffs are imposing pricing issues. And so, like, there's just a lot of bigger dynamics at play, but it makes it hard down on the impact of us trying to raise those funds. And so I'm sure it's difficult. So,
Mhm. Yeah, it's never easy, and this year it just definitely seems to be more difficult. Um,
yeah.
but that leads us into talking about Rebel U and the things that they're doing. And I know as an East Coaster and from my other East Coast friends, I always hear a lot about, could you please bring Rebel U to the East Coast? So
Yes.
I know they've moved a little into Canada. I think that was new last year. And this year they just announced they're partnering with the ex Overland Ranch and
Yes.
there'll
The
be
big thing.
the big thing, yeah, they'll be presenting, their Rebel U situation that they do, kind of like the Northwest Overland Rally is my understanding, where once you're in the event, you can attend these short, like, intro kind of trainings for free
Hmm.
with the Rebel U, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
So seeing that come east as far as Montana, that's a little exciting, right?
I
I
know.
mean
I would love to go to that just because, Clay Croft and Rochelle Croft, they're very amazing in what they do in their creator space. And so
mhm,
their ranch is beautiful. We had several friends that went to it last year. But this year, I think we're going to be doing the Rubicon Trail with, you and it's a couple other rebels. And so I hate that we would miss it by that last day. But yeah, the big thing is I think July 10th through the 13th. And um,
mhm.
super, super, super cool. Like I would love to go to Montana and I would love to go to the ranch.
Yeah, same. Last year we were doing something else when they had their big like opening and
Hmm.
so we haven't been yet either. But like you, we had friends that went and it gets high marks as you would
Yeah,
expect from something the Crofts have been
I
involved
know.
in. So,
Yeah, their quality of things is just top notch. They're amazing videographers. They're definitely storytellers, and I think it'll be cool to hear how the Rebel U is going to partake in that because at the Northwest Overland Rally last year, it was kind of like little seminar classes, but the way
mhm.
that they're presenting it, and I may be wrong, is that it's going to be like a full-fledged Rebel U, but maybe like a step up from Northwest Overland Rally, but maybe like a step down from the typical Rebel U. Um,
Okay. That's
because
your interesting.
it had driving like options and like all
Oh,
of
well,
that.
you missed it last year at
Oh,
Northwest. They have driving options at the Northwest Overland Rally. They
okay. I
set
must
up
have been on another trail ride then.
You went on a trail ride, but, Liz and I
Gotcha.
and Jenna, we all did and Natalie, we did the little they set up a little obstacle course, and,
Okay.
so last year I didn't have a vehicle, so I end up, I was helping
Okay.
in a spotting capacity at one of the
Gotcha.
little, obstacle, if you will, and so a lot of people that aren't familiar with off-roading, like, they bring their vehicles there, and they give them the whole Rebel U experience of
Okay.
knowing where your tires are, so they do
Gotcha.
actually, it's pretty involved, when you
Oh,
talk
okay.
about free-based training,
Yeah.
they do a really good job at the rallies,
Gotcha. So did you go out and like find checkpoints? I know the Rebel U's that I've attended, they have those where we actually go out and like chase checkpoints.
No, we did that
Okay.
on foot exercise, which I think you were part of
I
with the
did.
compass,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and that I think that's the only really checkpoint chasing that there is there because you stay kind of on premise, but I imagine the ranch is big enough, they might
It's
be able to
huge.
add that in,
Yeah. That'd be
so
way cool.
it would be. So we'll see how that all plays out. I'll be very interested to see who goes and their feedback, but I'm really excited about that. If it's anything like the Northwest Overland Rally, it's gonna be pretty amazing.
Yeah. It's
So and
cool
the
just to be able to hang
Northwest
around.
Yeah, the Northwest Overland Rally, I just saw released their dates, and it starts June 22nd this year,
Oh,
which is pretty cool.
yeah,
I won't be attending that either,
yeah.
sadly. It's pretty far away from me.
Yeah, it was a long haul for us, but we were kind of in the area or planning to be in the area, so we were like, why not? And especially like it gave us the opportunity to be around other rebels, and because they do have that big presence, unlike at like the Overland Expos, which is where we normally go to, just because we have commitments on that end.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the Northwest Overland Rally is definitely, it's easier to connect with rebels,
Hmm.
although Overland Expo brought in the Women Who Wander, which I think is making great strides in helping to
Yes.
connect women, and inclusive to that, there's some rebel-centric activities, which I think is great. I'm really excited to see that as well.
Yeah, you can definitely apply. Like I know you have taught classes at the Orlando Expos because there's also that education piece. I know I
Mhm.
took a land navigation with a guy that was a representative from like the Boy Scouts of America kind of thing. But yeah, Azure O'Neill, she's put on the women's events around that, and I know like last year that's where Patty and Connie connected, and now
Mhm.
they're teammates this year, and so it provides the opportunity for women to have their own space. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've done a couple classes with them, but my most successful class was a little, I called it, like a one-on-one compass and map class, and just
Hmm.
help people understand, like topo maps and the
Hmm.
important information on them and scale. And then we
Hmm.
talked about compasses and how to use them just in the most basic level, and it
Yeah,
was well attended, and some ladies brought their husbands with them, but it was a lot of fun.
I
Yeah.
think that's so cool. We watched this show on TV called Extracted, and they were give it like these people are put off in the wilderness to do like this survival thing while they have family members that are at like a base camp, and they have
Mm.
to like draw, like last night they drew a map, and the person out in the wilderness is given a compass and their family's hand drawn map and had to tell them how to get somewhere. And like so many people don't know how just to use a compass. And so
Yeah.
this one girl, like bless her heart, she got lost. And so you're spending all of this energy because they're out there with hardly anything, lost. And so I was like, the first thing I would ask, is this declinated?
So, in middle school, I believe it was 6th grade, we had to draw a map from school to our home. Mind you, I walked home probably 50% of the school year because I would stay after for sports, and my
Oh,
parents weren't available to come and pick me up, so I would walk home, and it was several miles. So I obviously knew how to get from school to my house, and I still failed the map making.
what was the criteria that you failed on?
I can't even remember. It's just the drama and the trauma of, like, "What do you mean I failed?" I think it wasn't really to scale, which, I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to detail, I guess, about that. I was like, "All the turns are on there." I was like,
And
"What
that's
do you, I walked home yesterday. How did I not know how to make the map? I made the map while I was walking home."
and little did you know that you would become a navigator for the Rebel
Yes,
Rally.
I'm telling you. Apparently, I'm only good with maps people have made for me.
I love the maps that the Rebellion gets because I know the practices that we've done, and just tried to make our own with like Cal Topo, and it's great, for what it is. But it really makes you appreciate the Rebellion or the Rebellion and the Rebel maps because
Mhm.
they are very nice.
They really
I
are.
could I
Emily
could never draw
Emily
them
does a great job. No, no. And they customize them, you know that, like, she adds and takes away stuff
removes.
that, yes. So she really, like, it's not like when I make a map of my area for practicing with, I just make a map, and what I get is what I get, right? But she, like,
Yeah,
thinks about the course and really, like,
the
customizes
beauty of
that
it.
map. And yeah, I mean, she puts so much thought and effort into every little detail,
They
really,
do.
and the team that she accumulates with her to help with that, just top notch.
Yeah.
You definitely cannot criticize that part of the rally for sure.
No, and I would love, like, I would love to be able to go out and just like go with them to plan a route. But I know I can never do that because they don't allow that. But it would just be cool just to see how their brain works and what they're thinking about. Because I've saw, in the Dead Reckonings on YouTube that like her and Jimmy, they think, well, can an X cross fit through here? Like all of those details. Because you have Jimmy on like a motorcycle and she's driving, and I think it'd be so cool.
Mhm. Yeah. Fireside chats with Nicole Patel about some of their, escapades, we'll say,
Yeah.
hilarious. But yeah, they really, not only do they do a good job, but they really enjoy doing it, so
Oh, absolutely. And they start like what, a month after the rebellions, they're like already
Oh,
hitting the
I don't
ground.
think they ever stop. I don't think they ever stop. It's just like the competitors thinking about the rally, they're
Yeah.
always thinking about course
Yeah.
and what's next.
Are you excited for Mammoth maybe this year? What are you
Maybe.
thinking? Yeah.
I
Still
liked
hopeful?
Mammoth. We went once. My first year we started in Tahoe, and I really appreciated that. It was more
Hmm.
of, traditional hotel,
Okay.
versus a village, and I did like that. So the send-off was well, the weather was really nice, so it was kind of an indoor-outdoor type venue where there was definitely an indoor portion, and so it was a little bit I
Hmm.
liked that better because it was easier to really mingle and you didn't have to deal with the cold weather,
Gotcha.
and so that was really nice. I liked that better, but Mammoth was definitely an epic place, so
Yeah. Yeah, it's way
yeah.
cool. It was
But
cool
yeah.
this year at Tech, or actually, as we were leaving, that Emily reads her letter and she does all of that stuff. But they allowed like some media in the background and like husbands and some family
Mhm.
members could come in that was there. So for
Yeah.
them to be able to hear that, just the passion, it was just really cool. That was very moving to me as a rookie.
Yeah, oh, I cry every year. But yes, it was nice. I'm a crier, so this doesn't surprise anybody that knows me. Um, but yeah, I was excited when the men were invited in or just anybody who was there, not just
Hmm.
men, but were invited in to kind of stand in the back and hear it, and,
Yeah,
that was super cool. Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
excited.
Yeah. I'm hoping to be there. It's looking like I might, but all details on that are forthcoming later.
Yeah,
Forthcoming later? Is that even the way to say that? Coming
I think
later.
so. Coming
Be
soon.
de to be determined. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I have a lot going on. We are getting in the expo season, like you were mentioning with, Rebel U and the ranch. We have several events as far as we have more expo coming up, which is, at the end of April, and they're a sponsor for me and my team. And then Mayor's Adventure Her in the Palo Duro Canyon in Texas is coming up after that, and they're also a sponsor for me. Um, but that's a great women's event. I really wish you could
Mhm.
come to that.
Yeah, I don't know the dates on that. What are the dates on that?
It's April, or I'm sorry, it's May 1st through the 4th. So it's that first weekend of
Oh,
May.
yeah.
Yeah,
I will be in
you're
Washington welcoming my first grandchild into
that's
the
exciting.
world. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of our listeners are West Coast based. So tell us what More Expo is.
So More Expo, it's the Midwest Overland and Off-Road Rally event. I think it's an acronym. I can't remember,
Okay.
but I know it's the Midwest. It's there in Springfield, Missouri. So it's
Okay.
basically like an Overland Expo, but not as big.
Okay.
There's classes and stuff like that. Me, Lisa Addington, and Katie Abraham are talking about their bell. So we're teaching a class on that. Matt is teaching classes on Gaia. Um, and there's just different there's a whole women's section, but you can camp there. There's vendors, there's music, usually giveaways, all of these things. It's really cool. It's way bigger than the Northwest Overland Rally. I would
Okay.
I would think it may have been like the new expo they had this year, the size wise, because it was a smaller one for this year.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
can't remember where that one was at, somewhere in like Southern California.
Yeah,
Um, but I would think that it would compare to that, but it's Chris Holloway is the person that's over that, and he does an incredible job. So
nice.
yeah,
And
we're pumped.
then Adventure Her in Maris is trail riding, right? It's not an expo, but a
Yep. They this year it's like going to be 70s theme. I'm the MC for the event. So I'm excited about that. But they are going to have like a bunch of girl things at night and they bring in your food and like we'll recap the day in the trail riding, but on Thursday whenever you go, you have the option to also sign up for like a vehicle they call it like a recovery class, and so you learn more about your vehicle and tire placements. And some women come there and they've always been passengers, they've never been drivers, and
Mhm.
this is only women driving at this event. Like men can come, but they have to be a passenger, and so it lets women learn their vehicles and learn more about what they're capable of on the road or on the trails. Um, it's incredible because you see people
Awesome.
coming in super nervous, but then they end up leaving with so much confidence and like wanting their own vehicles. And so it's really cool.
Yeah,
I love
awesome.
it. I'm very
Um,
passionate about that one.
yeah, I have known about it, definitely since last year, potentially since the year before, but the dates have just never worked out for me, so
Yeah.
it's on my bucket list of things to attend. Um,
It's
but
hard
also
because of Mother's Day.
circling yeah, I'm fine with that.
You're
Um,
good.
I wanna circle back to a name that you said, Katie Abraham. Is it too early to talk about Artemis
Oh, no.
with
I'm
Katie,
excited.
right?
Yeah, me and Katie have signed up. We're doing the Artemis Rally, as you know.
Mhm,
You helped us a lot with that. But we had them on the podcast, and I had heard about it because of Jillian and Kat.
mhm.
Jillian's competed and won it. We've had her on the podcast as well. And so I've always been intrigued by it because they set up your camp, they cook for you, and it's like you get to do all these cool activities. And so I'm just
Yeah,
like, and you have your phone, like you can use your phone for Gaia and all of these things. And so it's just
right.
like, I want
It's
to see
more
what
of an
it's about.
adventure rally than a map and compass
Yeah.
navigation rally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really excited for you guys. I tried really hard to work that out for myself this year, but again, I just couldn't quite make it work. So,
Yeah.
I'm really
We're gonna
happy to support you and Katie and to follow along. Woo.
we're gonna be team Wild Grace because for the Rebel Rally, they're Wild Mavens and we're Grit and Grace. And so
Mhm.
we combined the two and did Wild Grace. But yeah, we met this week and we discussed, like, we filled out some forms and just some paperwork, so figured out the logistics. I'm going to be driving the Jeep Gladiator.
Okay.
Definitely going to be doing that. So that'll be a different experience too, as far
Yeah.
as just competing in the Gladiator, because I always use the Wrangler, as you can see in the background. So that'll be different. We'll see.
Yeah.
And we have to have a canoe up on top of it. And so, I don't know, we'll figure that out.
Yeah. Well, Katie's tall, right?
Oh, yeah.
I would call
She's
her
taller
being
than me.
yeah. You'll be fine.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys got this. It's
We're
gonna be fun
pumped.
to watch.
We're gonna get with Jillian too, because they're not competing this year because they are putting all of their efforts into the Rebel Rally. But we're
Yeah.
gonna actually, I think we have a meeting to Friday just to get some competitor inside, experience talk.
Get some scoop from the winners,
Yeah, exactly. Because
the
you know
only
how
winners.
yeah, we go in and we don't go in to play. We don't want to. I
Yeah.
mean, we want to have fun, but like Nina Barlow says, winning is fun.
Winning is fun. Just get all the points, and it's that easy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we have Nina scheduled to come on in a couple weeks, and with
Super
her,
excited.
we're going to talk about how the rally has changed, from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Because, she has a lot of insight. Not only has she been training the whole time, she's participated in, I believe, all but 1 year.
I think it was
Um
2020 she didn't do that year.
Yeah. So that's pretty amazing, just to hear, like, the way that it's changed and escalated, and, um, I've been recently looking at old CP guides and old, results and the point spreads and the amount of CPs is just exploded since the
Oh,
beginning. So,
I have never thought about looking back that far. What does it look like?
which part?
So
The
like the
CPs?
CPs, yeah.
Yeah, they're just more and more every year, like, the number seems to grow by 1 or 2, the days initially were so short. So I looked, and in 2016, the winners won with 80% of the points, and they had, like, 818 points, and this
Hmm.
last year in 2024, the winners won with, like, 91%, and they had just over 1,300 points, so
Yeah.
that's that's crazy.
Yeah,
So
I would like to see the winners come back that had won it that first year just to see what they think about it. See about the competition and how things have changed. Because you
yeah.
might think you won it then, but it's definitely changed. Even you'll say from one year, like you've competed multiple times, you'll say
Oh,
it's
yeah.
definitely different. So,
Yeah. Like, my, first year, the gradient out of day 0 was much softer than the year the years since. Um, and then, we usually have, like, what Nina Barlow likes to call the princess day, where you have, like, these hard-hitting days, and then you have a day where you're like, "Okay, I can breathe. This is gonna be a fun day. It's not gonna be, like, ultra challenging," and that seems to have gone away.
I think
Like,
the Princess Day is now what they call prologue
well, there used to be another one, Prologue.
or
Okay, so
pre-tech
let's talk about that. Are we getting Prologue or Pre-Tech this year with the addition, of another rally stage?
stage.
That's gonna be up in the air. I have
I
no
know.
idea.
I think the pre-tech that was optional last year, you know how they're changing that this year to be mandatory,
Mhm.
went so well last year that it allows them to like possibly shift some things around and like because like I said, Matthew was in there putting decals on, like they were trying to get things done like a whole as soon as they could, and so
Yeah,
I think that adds a little cushion of time there. I don't know exactly how that's going to work out, but
yeah.
um, I thought last
You
year
know,
was great.
in the beginning days, there was no Pre-Tech and there was no Prologue.
So you just went straight to rally.
Well, you did Tech, but there
Uh-huh.
was no Pre-Tech, so it was all on a singular day.
But it's more about what was it like without prologue? Like how did they because they use that to like kind of set the stage, right?
You just started started ranking
Like
immediately.
hit the ground.
Yeah, you started ranking immediately. Yeah, so I don't know if they're circling back to sort of, like, the roots of trying to consolidate a lot of that this year to put in a new stage.
Mhm.
I'm excited to hear.
Me too. I'm
So
excited to see the breakdown of the days. Like, I think that
Mhm.
doesn't come until later on in the competitor guides, but just to be able to see as far as this day is a base camp, this day is a marathon, like those kind of things. So then, because then if we start
Yeah,
counting, like how many do we have and what's going on? You try to. It's such a game. It's my
yeah,
teammate Holly said it's the greatest game she's ever played. And it's just so cool just to beforehand, just kind of, we have these group chats that we all are in and just kind of figure it out. And some people are like, I don't want to guess. And I'm like, that's part of the fun.
yeah, right, it's part of the fun. Nobody's taking anything too seriously, but every little nugget you get, you try to figure out, like, what does that mean? Is that coded or is that literal? Um,
Yeah.
what is happening here?
It's like, I know that you probably shook your Christmas presents as a kid. I did. And so it's like
Oh,
you're wanting to.
I'm not only shaking all of my presents, I'm really good at guessing what's in them. In fact, I'm not allowed to shake the gifts anymore because I
Yeah.
literally can just pick it up or shake it and know what it is, and Rob gets so annoyed.
Matt can never surprise me. As a child, I would steam open wrapping paper.
No, I don't have to cheat. I just know, Kara. There's no cheating and guessing. I get to guess. It's so fun. I love it. Now I shake other people's presents. Now I'd be like, "Oh, I know what you're getting." It's true.
Everything's gonna be broken.
No, you have to shake it gently. My mother-in-law, I traumatized her one year, sadly. She got me a vacuum cleaner, and when I when I figured out what it was, I thought I was being clever. I said, "Doesn't it suck?" Because, vacuum cleaners suck the dirt
They
up
do.
off the floor. She
I
did
can't
not
believe
quite
you're.
get my reference.
I feel like I need to know why your mother-in-law got you a vacuum cleaner. Did you want
I
this?
I probably asked for it, yeah.
Okay. Okay, because I was like, that's very suggestive. I don't appreciate that.
No, I probably asked for it. I love so one of my top 5 gifts that Rob has ever gotten me is the KitchenAid stand mixer.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've been in love with that thing since he gave it to me.
But what do you mix? Y'all don't bake. You don't bake? Do you
I
bake?
bake. I love to bake.
But you
Yeah.
eat. Is it really baking if it's like all healthy? That's what I want to know.
I don't bake healthy stuff.
You
I
bake
bake good stuff. Yeah.
like what? I'm amazed right now. What do you make?
Cookies, brownies, cakes. Yeah.
Wow. I would never have thought this. My mind is blown right now.
I
I'm like,
eat
we went to a convenience store and you're like, where's the beef sticks? I'm like, what kind of junk food is that?
No, I mean, I eat junk food just in small portions.
Yeah, like one M&M a day doesn't count, Amos.
So, like, when the kids will come over, I'll make a dessert or something and,
Okay.
they eat most of it and I indulge.
Well, from
Like, if
now
we
on,
go to a
consider me a
restaurant
kid. Whenever I come over there, you need to bake something.
okay, I'll bake you stuff when you come. Um, when we go to a restaurant, like, I'm famous for if I'm with a group of people and they all order desserts, I just order a spoon and I taste everybody's. That is
That's
the best
true.
a spoon is the best dessert ever.
You did have a bite of that, like, I don't know what we had for your birthday party there in Yuma, that it was like a cookie skillet thing. You did have a
Oh,
bite of
yeah.
that.
That was really yummy. Mhm.
Yeah,
See, I
wow.
taste stuff. I'm a
Yeah.
foodie. I love to taste everything. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want my own dessert, I want a bite of everybody's dessert.
Yeah, and it keeps you from eating the whole thing, right? At least it does me.
Maybe. We shall see. Depends. If I like your dessert and you don't eat it, I might eat it.
I'm not gonna be wasteful.
Exactly. Ugh,
Are you going to any of the Overland Expos
we
this year?
digress.
Yeah.
Yes, we're joining you at the, P&W Expo.
Okay. Are y'all are you still are you going to West at all? I know the baby, so West is May 16th.
West is probably not on our list,
Hmm.
so probably not,
Yeah.
but we're not really sure, um,
I'm taking
so
my
those
daughter to Europe during that, but Matt is going to try to get out there. He really wants to try to talk to some vendors and look at some toppers and just get all of the ideas planned.
yeah, yeah. But West isn't too far from us, so it can be a last minute decision for us.
That must be nice.
Yeah. You know how to fix that.
Meanwhile, I'm over here in flooding and tornadoes.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
fine.
in full sun and oh,
And
66 today. It's nice out.
yeah, I'm layered and freezing in here. You're in a tank top.
Yeah. With a tan from like 2 weeks ago, it was warm enough that I was out tanning.
Wow.
Just saying. Utah's
Uh,
amazing.
I'm doing something wrong.
I told you that already.
Are you excited about the Rubicon Trail that we're doing?
I am. I am.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we drug in Lisa DeLuca, who offered because they're quite familiar with it.
Hmm.
And, so yeah, I think it's gonna be super fun.
I'm really excited. I'm nervous about wheeling the Gladiator because I have only done that once, and it was at Maris,
Mhm.
and I just did it for a day, and but then it was not re-geared. We since got it re-geared, and so now we are taking it on Friday to have the gears checked, just for their their first check post gear change. Um,
Mhm.
but wheeling a Gladiator is so different than a Wrangler, and
Yeah.
it's just bigger and longer.
Mhm.
So
Well,
I'm not sure
I
about that.
went from a JK into the Tacoma, which is,
Mm,
not quite the same as your Gladiator. I mean, my Tacoma is just on 33s because it's a Tacoma, and to
yeah,
get bigger tires is just a whole new
but it's
level of
still
unlock.
longer.
Yeah, but it's longer and it's a truck, and I love it. I love it. I think if you give it a chance, you're really gonna like it. Plus, you've reignited your passion for driving since then.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, very
I think
true.
mindset is everything, and if you just tell yourself it's it's different, but it's still good.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's also for me, it's just having another like arrow in my quiver as far as
Mhm.
knowing how tire placement works and because it's just different,
Yeah.
like you said, and learning it. It's a challenge for me
Mhm.
to be like, I know how to wheel my Wrangler, but then like
Yeah.
consider it to be a challenge of learning the Gladiator. I think I'm looking forward to that. But I just also am scared about damage because I'm not aware of like the quarter panel back there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the good news is on the Rubicon, Rob and I will be the only ones in a non-Gladiator platform. So you have lots of people driving lines that are gonna be on the same wheelbase
Yeah,
and, a lot of similarities there, and that is a great opportunity as a newbie in a Gladiator, right? To really, like, see
learn
and
it.
study other people doing it before like, you can be the last Gladiator to go. You don't have to be the first one, you know what I'm saying?
No. I have learned I don't want to be the first one on new places. I'd rather see
Yeah.
everybody else mess up or figure it out, and then that way you get
Mhm.
to me, we know what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. But at least going from the Wrangler to the Gladiator, like, the four-wheel drive system is gonna work the same,
Oh
it's still
yeah.
solid axle, like, there's gonna be a
Yeah.
lot of similarities that are gonna help you.
Oh
You got
yeah.
this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
I
I'm gonna
just
film just in case you don't buy it, then
Yeah, please do. Be like, "Hold my Coke."
yeah. You make sure your passenger seat is empty because am I gonna be the oh, no. But I will be a passenger, so I
Okay.
will seat hop when the opportunity presents itself, so
Absolutely. I'll just move Milo to the back. Milo is normally my co-pilot.
he can be in the back. He can be on my
I
lap in the front, that's fine
I
too.
wish dogs could be on the rally. I think that would add a whole new dynamic. Like bring your pet day.
So, Mason Converse, brought her dog,
I'd heard
this
about this.
year. Yes, because it's a help dog. It's not
Mhm.
just a pet dog. Sadly, it passed a few years back unexpectedly, but, a great dog, and I I don't know how that went for her. I don't know. I feel like I'm so competitive having to stop and let my dog go to the bathroom would
Mm,
just be too stressful for me.
yeah. I mean, we've been willing with our dogs. Like we've taken them to every, practice that we could, and some of the rebel ewes, Matt had would take them off. But like there's been some practices where they ride in the back and they just get out whenever we are trying to figure out what we're doing. Like, we schedule
Yeah,
it.
but can you imagine, like, being in the
Mm,
heat of the moment, 5 minutes to get to your next green, and the dog is freaking out because it has to go to the bathroom or it starts puking in the car for some weird reason, like,
yeah,
that
yeah,
while it seems
that's
fun
true.
on the
I
surface,
said just one day, just one day.
when you really dig into it, like, I think it would be really hard mentally to stay in the zone
Yeah. There is
and
one
have your dog
dog,
there.
the I can't remember the dog's name, but it's the one that does the Rally Navigator program.
Mm.
His dog, he brought it to the rally last year, and I hope he brings it again this year because it's like an emotional support for all of us rebels that love dogs and that need help.
Yeah. I pet the dog a couple times. I really enjoy that, Chrissy brings her son Atlas.
Hmm.
He's an amazing kid, and he's super fun to talk to, and I find him to be a super nice mental escape from the pressures of the rally when I get a few minutes to chat with him.
Hmm.
Uh, so I've always really enjoyed that. I think that's amazing, and
Yeah,
he just fits right in too.
he's so sweet too. Cause like last year, whenever we were looking at the comet, Matthew had him out there and was talking about. I think the comet's name was something Atlas, and so it was just really cool to experience that and for him to see that. It
Mhm.
was sweet. It was sweet. It's a family out there.
Yeah, it really is. It's just little things like that that really help you not be so missing of your own family.
Hmm.
It
Yeah,
helps
even
a
just
little
seeing
better
another
though.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, it helps a little, but, you
yeah.
know.
Then you start
Um,
thinking, oh, I have one too, and they're not here.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. You think that will be better this year? Missing Matt?
Um, yeah, I definitely think it'll be better because the circumstances that I'm in are different. But I'm also like, I'm still gonna miss him because I know he's gonna be out there chasing like he did last year. I don't know if Rob's gonna do it this year where that is still coming, but I know he can always have the opportunity to get with Craig and I'm sure some other guys. But if not, he will definitely go out there. He's very capable to follow along a couple days behind us like they did last year.
Yeah.
But as far as the lack of being able to just tell him about my day is that's hard. And
It's so
and
hard,
off
right?
yeah, and I can't wait. I know we're going to be doing a podcast with the husbands, and I've heard him mention that, he doesn't have the control of like knowing what's really happening. Like he can see it play out, but he doesn't know the why.
Mhm. Yeah, it's crazy. And then, I know last year you did not pick up your phone for quite
Mm-mm.
some time. Are you changing that this year?
Um,
'Cause you know me, I cross the finish line, I settle in, and then I call Rob, but I'm different. Like, that is a little bit
yeah.
unique. Not everybody is like that. Everybody's a little different. But it doesn't get any easier for me to not miss Rob
Hmm.
every rally.
Yeah, I didn't pick up my phone until Sunday afternoon this past rally. So this year, I think I would like to just pick it up as long as, my finish looks different than last year's finish, which knock
Mm,
on fake wood, that it does. But I would definitely like to call him and just be like, "Hey, I love you. We finished. We did it. Yay." Da 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 da. Just a real quick call, but I
mhm,
also really appreciated, and I don't know if it was because of our finish, but last year, that last night was special. Like everybody did have their phone, but then like the whole mechanics crew was in there, and we were just all talking. Like it was the camaraderie that I really really liked. And Katie got up and she did that whole award ceremony where we got the but did you die panties.
mm,
Um,
yeah,
that was the panties we got, and so that was just cool. It's just something to have that moment with your teammate too. And I know Holly, like her husband, she doesn't usually have anybody come to the
mhm,
gala, and so I don't know. It's honestly, I kind of want to respect that, and I don't want to take away from our teammateship. And so it's going to be kind of hard to also like, I don't want Holly to be the third kind of person, with us. Um,
yeah.
we'll see.
Interesting. Interesting take on it. Yes, we
Yeah,
shall see.
I'm excited though. I'm excited to know where it's going to be. I'm excited to dress shop because Matt was like, I told him, I was like, I got to get a new dress. And last year, I had like a huge formal dress. And so
You
I think I'm
did.
going to, I think I'm going to do blue this year because Rebel Rally is always blue. And it's the
Mhm.
10th anniversary. I don't know. Does anybody ever get together and be like, this is what colors we're doing?
There's been talk, there was talk about this year everybody wearing blue, but I don't think it went anywhere.
Hmm.
Um, I think if all things were easy, somebody would organize a color theme, but until
Yeah.
that happens, I'm just going with black. We all know that to be true. Um, just going
I
with
think I think this year for the 10th anniversary, you should go with like hot pink, green, something like so crazy. That's not black. That's my point.
not green. Rob does not like green.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
What did green ever do to him?
I'm not sure, but it's just, like, it's not his favorite color, it's not my best color.
Oh,
Um,
I think it would make your eyes stand out.
yeah, probably, I don't know, but it won't be green. I can almost guarantee you it won't be green.
I vote pink.
I can almost guarantee you it'll be black, and maybe I'll wear a hat because, it's the end of the rally.
I do know that there's a lot of ladies that are getting hats from Rory.
Oh,
And so
that's
that's
true.
that's been a talk of everybody wearing their
More
hats that
hats
she's
this year?
created. And I chose the color based on a blue dress.
Oh, nice. You got a blue
So,
hat?
yep, yep.
I haven't ordered a hat yet. I need to get in touch with her. I have 2 hats, and I was gonna send her one, and then I came to the realization I'm never gonna get to the post office and actually put my hat in a box because on the list of things I don't like doing, the post office is quite near the top. Um, so then and I was honest with her. I was, "Look, I want a hat. I'm gonna send you mine, but it'll be a while because I hate going to the post office." Now I think I'm changing that, but now I wonder, like, can she do a black hat?
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
if you
She
burn, are you gonna be able to see it? I need to talk to her.
I mean, I think it would be even more subtle and just cool. Like you don't
Yeah,
really know it's there, but it's there. Or she might can do like well, it's burning,
yeah.
so I don't know if she can burn color, but if she could burn a white into it, that would be really cool, or a
Mhm.
gray. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But you had
Unfortunately, we had to cancel. We were supposed to have them on, and
yeah,
we were under tornado
tornadoes.
watch, so we canceled, and we've yet to reschedule, but that was definitely on my list of questions for her, so but
Yeah.
we'll hold those. We'll hold that speculation until, we get them back on, and
But just so
then
you
we'll
know,
ask all the
the
questions.
you had asked about how do I know if it would fit me, whenever I got it. So whenever I got it, there's a string in it that adjusts.
Yeah, she just
So
did a
it's
thing on one of the socials, a little video about that too.
okay,
Yeah, because 'cause I'm sure that's
perfect.
a common question.
Yeah. Well,
But
yeah, I
yeah,
mean, that's the first thing you asked, and I was like, oh, I didn't think about that. I just wanted a
yeah.
hat because it looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing.
Anyways.
Exactly. What else? Is that it? Did we cover everything?
Let's see, all the expos, all the Rebel U news, the reveal of Mammoth, the new range. Oh, we're going to a ranch thing in Idaho. That's something new. We're going on our way to PNW whenever we're coming out to do the Rubicon Trail. That's something for us. Um, there's just a lot of events. Like once April comes around until
Yeah.
October.
Event season is in full swing, yes.
Yeah.
Currently, a lot of people we know are at Easter Jeep Safari, so we're gonna have to circle
Oh,
back around to all the wonderful things we've heard about that in
I'm gonna take
probably
my
2 weeks.
I'm going.
Oh, right, you are going.
Yeah, I'm
I
going out.
I totally
Yeah,
forgot.
I didn't even write it down my list of things that we're doing because it's coming up next week. So
Yes.
I don't
So
even
when
I
you're
was
done with that, we'll circle back around to one of these and discuss.
yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna take my I have a DJI Osmo Pocket, the 3,
mhm.
and so I'm gonna take in like and we're doing it a little different. So Easter Jeep Safari, for those people that don't know it, it's a huge event, but it's also guided trails. Like that's the huge part of it. Um,
Right.
which means that they are packed on the trails.
Yes.
And so we've never went because we don't want to be around crowds, and that makes the days very, very long on those trails. And
Mhm.
so when we go out there, we are going to do some trails, but not the ones that they're doing. We have their list of that they have, online, and then
Yeah.
it was funny. I messaged Nina because I was like, "Are you going to Easter Jeep Safari?" And she's like, "I'm already here," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
She's been for a while now.
And I was like, well, I'll come and give you a hug. And I was like, but I may be kind of silly thinking I'll be able to see you. And she's like, well, I work every day. And I was like, okay, well, I still love you. Hug.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she gets to do a lot of the fun stuff that
Hmm.
people really go to Easter Jeep Safari for, like, I'm pretty sure she gets some sneak peeks into the concept vehicles that all
Yeah.
the media people get to look at, like, it's a big exciting event because they do release concept vehicles, and
Yep.
so media goes and they see them and they drive them, and then they do their little reports about it
Mhm.
afterwards, so, yeah.
Yeah, our top sponsor for the Rebel Rally is Total Performance Motorsports, and
Mhm.
they were building one of the concept Jeep vehicles. And so just really, really cool things that you get to see behind the scenes of what Jeep thinks. It's kind of like a SEMA small scale for Jeeps.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with a
Sweet.
lot of people thrown in on trails.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, well, we'll definitely put that on one of our lists for our water and coffee chats,
I'll
'cause
take some pic.
this'll be a regular thing for us.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah,
fun.
you can put the pictures on your background.
I'll put pictures on the background and then I can also like
Mhm.
show like a little behind the scenes things. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that will be fun. Alright, well, let's wrap this up for this week, and, we look forward to hearing all about your Easter Jeep, and we'll discuss any other Rebel news that has come to the forefront.
Or thinkings or maybe shaking the boxes and trying to guess.
I'm good at that game. Give me a box. I got this. I got this.
It's more like shaking the emails. Like what's gonna come out of this?
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah. I
Alright,
can't wait.
sweet. Till next time. Oh,
Yeah.
I whacked the thing. Bye.
See ya.